Tens of thousands expected for March on Washington's 60th anniversary demonstration. Washington, AP. Martin Luther King III, along with his wife, Andrea Waters King, and their 15-year-old daughter, Yolanda, have developed a set of traditions for this time of the year. Each August, they rewatch the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s rapturous address to the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Even if the civil rights icon's legacy is closer to the King's than it is for most other families, they see March anniversaries as a teaching moment. "We're like any other family, in the sense that we want to teach our daughter about this moment in history," Andrea said. "And then we also try to connect it with movements or people that are doing things in the present." This year, the Kings will join an expected crowd of tens of thousands of people, who are gathering Saturday at the Lincoln Memorial in the nation's capital to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the late Reverend's "I Have a Dream" speech. The event is convened by the King's Drum Major Institute and the National Action Network. A host of Black civil rights leaders and a multiracial, interfaith coalition of allies will rally attendees on the same spot where as many as 250,000 gathered in 1963 for what is still considered one of the greatest and most consequential racial justice and equality demonstrations in U.S. history. On Friday, Martin Luther King III, who is the late civil rights icon's eldest son, and his sister, Bernice King, each visited their father's monument in Washington. "I see a man still standing in authority and saying, 'We've still got to get this right,'" Bernice said as she looked up at the granite statue. The original march, which featured their father as a centerpiece, helped till the ground for passage of federal civil rights and voting rights legislation in the 1960s. Organizers of this year's commemoration hope to recapture the energy of the original March on Washington, especially in the face of eroded voting rights nationwide, after the recent striking down of affirmative action in college admissions and abortion rights by the Supreme Court, and amid growing threats of political violence and hatred against people of color, Jews and the LGBTQ community. "What we know is when people stand up, the difference can be made," Martin Luther King III told the Associated Press in an interview ahead of Saturday. "This is not a traditional commemoration.